Well, the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where they boot stomp all night. What? That's right. Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid, to get the girl in your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys around here drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot a back, shoot a back, shoot a back, spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here, drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back, spit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now, girl, hop inside. It's me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys around here, drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here, sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back. I'm one of them boys around here, drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here, sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back and spit.
Well, welcome to the WINGIT call, December 6th, 2016. How's everybody doing today? Well, let's do it one more time. Let's hope that Friday is not, we have to have another call. I'm hoping for this week, but, you know, we won't know till we won't know. Take a knee, please. Lord, again, thank you for the opportunity for this training that you're giving me. I'm not sure what you have in store, but thank you for this. Being a politician and trying to be politically correct, Lord, is not my forte. You know what I would rather be doing, and a politician is not one of them. I thank you for this as you round the rough edges of me to understand a little bit more. And I ask that you also give my fellow brothers and sisters the same guidance that you're giving me. Polish us. Just make us a little more understanding and have bigger eyes to see what's going on rather than just what's in our little sandbox. And I ask this in Jesus Christ's name, amen. And again, I am not a preacher, a pastor. I am just a redneck who speaks from the heart. Now for the disclaimer. We are not attorneys, lawyers, CPAs. Nothing on this call is to be considered any form of legal advice in any stretch of the imagination. And for the rest of the disclaimer, please go to thewingitcall.com. There's a disclaimer tab. Click on that, and you'll have the rest of the disclaimer. Couple of things. And I understand where you're coming from. Middle of the day, I'm tweeting out links. And I understand that you're only following me for the RBGCR, but you got to understand, if it's the middle of the day and you don't hear from me and it happens, you're going to hear about it. So I instead of putting everything on my web page, which I probably should, I just tweet out the links. Some people are a little upset about that. It's not my intent to give you a heart attack at all, just to provide some information. I could be political and give my political views. I believe I've done that enough already. Or, of course, it's Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's different. It's the Cowboys, okay? And what else? What else? Okay, from this day forth, Iko and myself are going to we've had our time in the sun, our day in the shade, whatever you want to call it. Now it's time for us to kind of fade back and fade away. The limelight does not belong to us, it belongs to somebody else. So that being said, we're starting to pull in how many people we're speaking to. Yes, I will still answer emails if it's good questions. We're pulling in everything and starting to shut down so that we can take a month off and it's just not a complete shock to everybody. Hope that's a good explanation. What else? What else? There's so much to talk about today. Artmeister, are you there? Would you like to speak, or are you just hiding in the weeds?
I'm here. I think I'm here. I was yesterday. I was 3 minutes ago, and I guess I'm still here now. I don't know. None of us know where we are right now, I don't believe, when it comes to looking for what we're looking for. After the post that were put out in the last couple of days, excitement a few days ago, then some downtime, and then something about now the oil people got to get together, and Russia today evidently is holding their meetings, and they all have to agree, I guess, on a common price or something, and with OPEC, and then supposedly the RV can be released. And I thought all that was taken care of before, but that's part of the Paris Agreement, so I don't know a lot about that really. That's the only thing I've heard. Everything's really quiet right now, so just kind of waiting, I guess, to see what happens next, or what Bruce has tonight maybe. I don't know. Just hanging in there waiting like everybody else and hope this doggone thing comes before Christmas. So we can all we'll always have a blessed Christmas, but if we get this thing, it'll be a super, super blessed Christmas. So just say hi to everybody out there in currency land, and hang in there is all we can do, and just keep on hanging and keep on waiting and keep on praying, and we'll get her done. So that's
Thanks, Art.
about it, I guess.
Thank you. If you'll mute on your end, I appreciate it.
I will.
Wingman, do you still need more time? Because I've got some more to talk about.
No, I'm here.
Okay, so can I go first?
You can go first.
Okay. I tweeted out a link for Dinar Chronicles from One Who Believes. It says, here is a tip from one who believes. And it has a very good breakdown. You know, for instance, do you feel deserving what is to come? Tip, deserving and entitled are different concepts. Will you contribute to humanity or burden humanity? Tip, encouragement and compassion are contributions. Let me see, where's the one? Who are you going to blame today? Tip, blame doesn't do a thing except make people who are trying to help you feel bad about it. It's a really good read. It was sent to me by a gentleman that sends me stuff all the time. He has some good stuff. That being said, and I talked about Iko and I pulling in our horns, and today, starting today, we're going to be a little more direct, a little less hand-holding. It's time to start thinking on our feet. That's why we're all here. We're going to start pulling back on that too. And if you're going to ask questions today, think about the question you're going to ask. Has it been asked before? If there's something new, we've talked about everything. We can reinforce some things that we're talking about, but we're going to start just pulling back a little bit, and that way when the last call rolls around, it's not going to be traumatic for everybody. Yes, I'm going through a little withdrawals too. Don't take that wrong. But after looking at my past cell phone bills for the last 4 or 5 months, you know, when I'm talking anywhere between 10 and 12,000 minutes a month, according to AT&T, my lips are tired. Had a person calling it again for last night. Bless his heart. I just wish he would stop it unless you're in the room and you're watching the whole process go through, no matter who your contacts are. It didn't go down. So, you know, I think that bikini thong, camo thong, or whatever it is a little tight right now. And you need to slack off on the umbrella drinks. It's starting to take an effect. You know, I don't mind having a drink while I'm doing the call, but I stopped that a while back. Now I'll wait till after the call. That's the difference between a good drunk and a bad drunk. Stop it. You're playing with people's emotions. You bring them way up. Anticipation is great. When it doesn't happen, it's like pulling a rug out from underneath of them. You know who I'm talking about. It'll get back to you. You know, so stop it. All right, Wingman, go ahead. I didn't want to take everything away.
Okay. I have I was thinking about before the call, why didn't I think of saying this before? And I realized the reason I didn't say what I'm about to say is because the timing wasn't right. And the accumulated, there's something in management speak called CAVI, which is the Coalition of Authority, Power, and Influence. And all three things have to be in place in order for an organization to come to a decision. And I realized that we hadn't really, not enough of us had been exposed to the various viewpoints, both pro and con, to make a decision. But now I think we can. So here's the big news, guys. Okay, the big news is that nobody, and I mean no one, knows exactly what's happening, what's going on, what the date is, what the rate is. There is literally a handful of people who are controlling that piece of information. Doesn't mean there's going to be a lot more people involved once they say go. But everybody who thinks they know, everybody who thinks they know somebody who knows, everybody who claims to be at the top of the food chain, They are not at the top of the food chain. They are still, I guess you'd call them, they're still managers in a great big company, and only the guys sitting in the boardroom really know what's going on. That would include, and for example, I'm sorry. Let me just get the thought out.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. That would include people like the people who are handling Joseph, the people actually running the PSYOPs. They don't know. They're guessing. They've got pretty good guesses, but their main goal is to manipulate the Narians who are paying attention. Okay? So they put out whatever they think they need to keep this crowd under control. And they also probably tell their agents, we know this for a fact. Well, they don't know it for a fact. There is actually, even the people who we think are controlling this, they're not controlling it. That includes, the president of Wells Fargo, or the president of HSBC, even, or whoever the guest controller of the week is. They're only as good as the information they're getting, and they are not getting the final piece of information. There's a group of people out there who control the final piece, and they've got everybody guessing on purpose. The secrecy is for good reasons. They're trying to catch the bad guys. They're trying to control the way this hits the world economy. It's all good reasons. It's not bad. Nobody's trying to keep this from us. But they are going to do it in the way that they feel is best, and they've been thinking about this now. Some of them have been thinking about it for hundreds of years. Some of them have been thinking about it for the last 40 years, specifically the Kuwaiti and the Iraqi situation. But I hope that helps folks understand that all of the information we get, no matter who it comes from, is at best an intelligent speculation. If it's well intentioned, and if it's ill intentioned, which a lot of it is, well, you know what? They'll get theirs. Those people will get theirs. They don't know that yet, or if they know it, they don't believe it. So that's not to say don't listen to other people. And also, what you're going to find if this doesn't happen in the next 6 to 7 weeks, you're going to find a new replacement for Joseph and his tag team. They're already out there. They're already infiltrating the ranks. They're being introduced slowly but surely. That's the lesson that the PSYOPs guys learned this past time. Instead of just dumping one guy on the scene with all this information, Joseph, okay, the smart kids figured Joseph out real quick. Now it's going to be harder to figure out who's an agent and who isn't in the PSYOPs campaign. They've learned their lessons. They've adapted. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to put out today, because there's not going to be that much time before that voice, i.e. Jerry and myself, aren't doing a call, aren't in the mix. And everybody's going to have to discern from themselves where the truth is coming from and what is the truth. And what I'm trying to say point blank is, you're not going to get the truth. You're not. One day you're going to find out you can go exchange your currencies, and this is the rate you can exchange it at. Everything else up until that point, I'd call it entertainment, because there's not going to be any new intel. All the intel is out there. Whatever we're going to get, we got. So wherever you've decided to be, whoever you decided to hang your hat with, or whoever philosophy you've decided to join, you're really not going to get anything new. That's going to change your mind. Just like the elections. The elections were decided, 2-3 months ago, not on election night. So that's just the reality of it. You can either go with that flow, or you can fight it. And there's certainly nothing anyone can do about that. That was one of the reasons that Jerry and I kind of grew tired, is that we realized the people who agreed with us, agree with us, and people who disagree, and nobody was going to budge. And there wasn't going to be any new information to budge them on. That's what I wanted to say today. Back to you.
Thank you, Wingman. Star 2 to raise your hand, and we're swirling to the left. Come on down.
Geez, the first caller. My goodness. I guess I've been elevated to a position of privilege. I'm not used to that.
Absolutely. Well, because I know it's late. It's late down there, and so come on down.
It is daylight down here now. It's a beautiful day. There's no question about that. First, I wanted to give a shout out to glad to hear people are looking forward to good things happening, and I read parts of the pieces of the post that you sent out, and a lot of that is very true. I think we manifest what we think, and in one way or another, it's hard to, as you've said in the past, get rid of stinking thinking. But to Art and to yourself and to Aiko, my profound appreciation for everything you did and have done and are in the process of doing between now and when you decide to say I do, and or I did, or I've done. And I think that the one thing for me that strikes me is because I'm looking forward to this as an opportunity to stop what I'm doing. Not that I don't enjoy what I'm doing, because I do, but I look forward to getting back and being closer to my family and the things that actually mean something in the big scheme of things. And I think that if we all kind of focus on the idea that we're putting one foot in front of the other until there's time to sit down at a chair and be able to look across the table at somebody we don't know, but whose actions are going to change our lives. And faith is a big part of this, I believe, and that if we truly trust in the idea that this will happen and just relax, then we're not penning up a bunch of negative emotions in the process. And all that does is weigh you down, interrupt your sleep, and make you tired when you wake up. So I would just share that with you folks. And again, Jerry, to my family in Washington State and Aberdeen and Montesano, and my friends in St. Pete and Sarasota, Florida, I've enjoyed the idea that I pass along the links so that they listen in and they pay attention to what you say, and we all have appreciated, I think, the grounded, no BS that you're kind of famous for now, and no false promises, no hopium, no pie in the sky type stuff. And I think that means a lot to everybody. I know it does to me, and it does to my family as well. So, muchas gracias there, buddy. And as Barry would say, you got to give love to get love and be loved. Just love.
Thank you, Mr. Swirling to the left. And I'm glad to be known as the no BS, because whoever fills the vacuum after Wingman and myself are gone, they're going to have to slip on the no BS shoes. Otherwise, they're going to get called on the carpet going, really? You're going to step in and try to fill the void? Just give them a chance. You know, like me, when I first started, you kind of gave me a chance. I got my feet wet, and, you know, I stumbled a little bit and started making a little ground, but I just stood on the no BS, and it's carried me this far, so I guess I'm thankful for that. Jacksonville, 904, come on down, and star 2 to raise your hand. Otherwise, we can go talk about other kinds of stuff.
Thank you, Jerry. Aiko, you're very correct. I agree with you 100. No, not 100, but 500%. They want to find out who the crooks really and truly are, and that's the way. Nobody knows when this thing is going to happen. That's exactly right. Everybody been saying this or that, but the truth is they want to find out, and they want to make sure. Jerry, last time, show me the money. Thank you, Jerry.
Show me the money. Show me the money. Thank you, sir.
That's all I got, Jerry. Thanks.
You're welcome. Well, wait just a second. Rodeo Drive, come on down. How you doing today? How you feeling?
I'm feeling a little tired today, but very, very thankful for everyone who contributed. I wanted to say that. And I wanted to know more about this escrow that you were talking about, or where you can put your money.
Okay. So I got a little clarification. And I don't know still truly if this is what it's called, but I had somebody explain to me it's called a attorney-client account.
Uh-huh.
So, when you go to buy, and I only used the word escrow because I didn't know what it was called. So if you go to buy a house, everybody puts their money somewhere to get a third party. Does that make sense? This is the same principle. But you're doing it with an attorney, so it's called an attorney-client account, I believe. Don't hold my feet to the fire, because I haven't talked to an attorney and set one up like that. But it just helps. If once you've got cash in your pocket, it's still a digital transaction. But the reason I said escrow is if you don't have any money and they've frozen your accounts, it's hard to get legal representation. This is what I'm talking about for an account like that. And I'm sure there's all kinds of different things you can do with it, but this is what I was using it for. If there's interest paid on the account, it rolls back into the principal. That way you're not without some form of legal representation. You'll always have the cash to do it. Does it make sense now?
That makes a lot of sense, yes.
Okay.
And thank you again, and I love you guys, and happy holidays to everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Short call, Iko. Nobody's got their hands raised. I guess we've answered all questions. Everything's looking good. What do you think about that? Wingman? Uh-oh. Oh, he's muted out. Okay.
Sorry. There we go. Yeah. Now all we need is a aircraft carrier with a big banner across the forecastle saying "Mission accomplished." So.
Yeah. I'll tweet out a few more links. Hold on a second. I got my back door open and the dogs are barking. Just a second.
While you're saying that, just for some of you, you might enjoy since you have the experience now. You might enjoy watching what happens in Dinorland as the new authorities show up. Their entry portal is Dinor Chronicles. And without naming any names, because I don't want to have any problems down the road, they've already shown up there. They've started to post. You'll notice that their posts are an abridged or very neutral version of what Yosef has been posting. So they don't come across with wild claims, but they do, in essence, support what he posts and what people have started to call wild claims. So you can watch this happen now. You've got the training, you've got the ear for it, you've got the background for it. One of my favorite songs from my business days was the Who's. We won't be fooled. We won't get fooled again. Because that's what happens to every new business person. They get fooled until they figure the game out.
Ooh, we have a guest we haven't had for a while.
Okay.
We're going to Boynton Beach. That's Boynton Beach, Florida. Come on down.
And where in heaven's name is that?
Right where you're at, Boynton Beach there, Professor.
How are you,
Hey,
fellas?
Professor.
Good afternoon, Iko. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing very well.
I understand fully why you're going, and I'm glad for you, but you've contributed a lot to many people. And for that, you're both to be applauded. And, I just sit back in the woods lots of times because I've heard so much of it. But the greatest thing I think the both of you have done is forced us to think. Let me get away from that other phone. Okay. Sorry, I thought I silenced it. But anyway, you've encouraged people to think. And that can never be that cannot be, overemphasized because there's so little critical thinking out there today. And that's my main message. And for that, I've enjoyed you, but you both need a rest as well as the others. And I loved your emphasis before. And Jerry, if you remember, I had a very poor joke that this whole group, is living in perfection. Isn't it nice to know you've lived it in perfection? Just think, we ask ourselves one question. No one's ever been right. So we're living in a perfect world.
Exactly.
No matter what guru, no matter what aid. And that's why I learned to think.
Were you listening the other day when a guy came on and was talking about all the gurus? And I said, well, I'm glad I'm not one of those. He goes, no, you're not. So I was actually taken out of that basket and put in just the no BS category. I was kind of thankful for that.
That's very good, because I treated you with a small g rather than a capital G.
Oh, here we go. I knew I wasn't going to get too far out of that one.
Good reason.
Thanks. Thank you, Professor.
I can help. Yeah,
yes,
do you have snow yet?
No, just a lot of cold, rainy days. It's coming, but not yet.
It's supposed to be coming down. I thought you were this weekend. Oh, well.
Well, we'll see.
Okay. Meanwhile, gentlemen, thanks for picking up my call, and it's always a pleasure to hear your voices. And I will hear you in my dreams.
Thanks, Professor. I'm sorry, I got an email. I was reading. I'm multitasking. I'm trying to be like a woman and multitask, and I'm having great difficulties here. I'll get back in a second. Orlando. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to interject something. I keep meaning to say this, and I keep forgetting. Everybody needs to start practicing. For example, I know there are people on this call who don't hear a word I say because they labeled me either as a liberal or a non-Christian. They put me in a box. So therefore, everything I say is either suspect or to be simply ignored because I don't have a seat in their box. And we all do it. I do it too. I'm always catching myself on this, but you'd be amazed at some of the gold you will find in other people's comments and thought processes and statements of fact that you can use in making your decisions. Don't just because somebody's a different religion, different race, different nationality, don't dismiss what they have to say. Integrate it into what you believe is the narrative, because you're really doing yourself a disservice. If I didn't listen to some of the people in Dinorland who I really like, I don't want to say I despise them, but close to it, I would have missed some key components that allowed me to, how should I put it, improve my position, okay, when we come to exchange. So just you gotta start thinking with less stinking. Let's put it that way. That's it. You know, if you heard it, great. If you didn't hear it, well, you didn't hear it.
Yeah, start using your head for more than something like a hat rack.
Yes.
The good Lord put us a brain up there. Some of us use it better than others, and I'll be very honest with you. At times, there was so much smoke running around in my brain, I had some serious stinking thinking. All right, Orlando, Florida, 407. Come on down.
Hey, Jerry. I talked to you a few weeks back on another call, probably around the same time about a month ago. Told you about a friend of mine that we got disconnected. He finally I got an email today. That's why I'm late on the call. I just got on the call a few minutes ago, so I missed all the opening statements and stuff. I'll go back and listen to the recording. But the email was very intensive, and I will tell you all this, and this is a no joke, no BS, because this is a friend of mine I would call a battle buddy. I mean, he was right there the whole time I was over there. He said, look at northern Iraq, and it's going from the north south. And that's all I can say. But things are happening.
Awesome.
Think about that. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. Going from the north south. What's in the north? What's going on in the north?
Mosul, Kurdistan.
Exactly. What's going on up there? What's going on? Water rolls downhill, right?
Yep.
Think about it. Things are happening. That's all I can say. He told me not to mention too much, but that's what he said, and he said he's up there and things are happening right now.
So why don't you send me, because I don't have time right now, send me an email. We'll discuss later, okay?
Yeah, if you would, I'll send you an email through my phone. Just give me a call when you get a chance. I know you'll come up a block, but just let me know about a time or send me a text message when you're going to call. That way I can pull off side of the road. So
see, if I send you a text message and you have my phone number, so if it comes up blocked,
okay,
you know it's me.
Okay, all right, I got you. I like to talk to you off records. Like I said, it's very intensive stuff, and like I said, it's in a timeline I kind of been figuring out in my head, and it's all kind of working out at the same time. So I know it's a no-fly zone, but that's something I want to talk to you about privately.
Okay, later.
So yes, sir. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you all.
South Hold 631. Come on down.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I've been listening to all you guys for years, and you more lately than ever. I mean, well, since you've been on. I'd like to add some perspective to this. Ico's comments and just a general what's been going on over the last several years. I was recruited back in my first year in college, 1970. Okay, so I've been at this 46 years. And it's very interesting that, first off, I'll start with the fact that, we've heard tomorrow, no dates, no rates, and we've been teased with little tidbits of information that, do play out, and that's going to be the deciding factor, and it never is. Okay, so that's that point, and that's still going on now, still going on today. And then the other side of the coin is, which Ico very aptly mentioned, the CIA PSYOPs site, and which is very superficial because that's just what they allow the people to read, and which they don't really understand it. And most people don't realize that our intelligence agencies run 16 layers deep, and they all have black budgets. And those are the people that may even have an idea. So my point being is that you know, it's great to get, you know, some people the hopium and then the nopium and then the in between and then the teaser facts, which, you know, some come true, some don't, but it always looks like that's the next reason we should be, you know, happy or sad. But like Iko pointed out, we really don't know nothing, and there may be very few people that do, and even in the intelligence agencies, there may be very few people, if any, that know. And so my point being, and I'm not trying to be an opium here, is that we have no real, judging from that point of view, we really have nothing to go on that this is ever going to happen ever. Because if there's just a handful of people controlling it and they have everything to gain from it not happening, and we're just going to have to wait, which, you know, I've been doing for 46 years on various different things. What's the proper outlook on this? I mean, you know, some people, Ray Rand's talking, you know, 100% this week, you know.
Okay, so hold on. Okay. Iko, I know you got something to say. Wingman.
Yeah, sorry. We were talking about what we're going to have for dinner. So I moved it out. Yeah, you know, what the caller is saying. Here's what I would add to that is
there's feedback on your end.
There shouldn't be. I'm on my headset in my normal place. Let me cycle.
I hope that's not coming from my end.
Might be. I'll tell you what. Why don't you mute for a second? I'll give you my perspective on what you're saying, and then I'll mute. You can come back in.
No, I muted. It was coming from that guy. I muted him.
Okay. So my point is to clarify what I said a little earlier is that the bad guys who are trying to stop this or manipulate it in some way, they are not actually in control. They are thorns in the side of the activation. It is. I'm not worried about it happening at all. I'm not worried about the rates being incredible. Not worried about that at all. I think if you look at the entire planet, taking into account mainstream media, follow the markets, follow all the stuff we've been following. Go all the way back. Look at what gold is doing. Look at what crude oil is doing. Look at what the maritime industry is setting itself up to do. You know, all of those factors, which is hard intel. It's got nothing to do with dinar land. All of that points to a new world financial order. Everybody, you won't find anybody in the higher ups who don't admit that the fiat system is done. It's got to be changed. We got to go back to an asset-backed economy, but how to do that has been the big battleground. So I wouldn't go as far negative as you have gone. What I would say is that even the people who are fighting this, call them the cabal, call them whatever you want, they don't even know what the people controlling this have in mind as far as timing goes. They can guess, but there is, based on everything I've been told in my research, there is a group controlling this whole thing. And as Jerry likes to say, it's the golden rule. He who has the gold rules. So if you follow the money, just like back in Watergate, if you follow the money, it will lead you to the people who are actually controlling this. And that's real. Executive Order 13303, that's real. That's only a piece of it. At one time, we were led to believe it was the big, it was the big linchpin. Now we know it's not. Iraq is reacting to this process just like we are. Maybe they have more information than we do, but they're not. They don't know. They don't know what the final moment is. Let's put it that way. They know what the end game is. I mean, we all know what the end game is. I believe. At least I know I do. So I guess what I'm saying is I like the way you're thinking, but I also believe that there's this other piece to it that isn't in your thinking, and that is that the end game is real, and it's going to be great for everybody on the planet, and that's the idea. The idea is if the entire planet has a roof over its head, food in its belly, and a flat screen television on the wall, there won't be any more wars. That's the goal. It's a little oversimplified, but that's the goal. End world suffering. You're always going to have good guys and bad guys. You're always going to have richer and poorer, but you won't have, how many billion is it now, starving, going to bed hungry. You won't have that anymore. That's the goal.
Let us take a caller here. Dave on the web. Come on down.
Good afternoon, Jerry.
Howdy.
Long time listener. Donator, but first time caller.
Well, thank you, sir.
Give my regards to George when you next talk. Please.
I will.
Sorry to see that you folks are going away, but I understand all the motivation, and it's been a hard road. So, is my volume audio level okay?
You're a little loud, which I think is because of your internet connection. It cuts in and out.
Oh, that's a feature. All right, I will let me back off the microphone a little bit. I'm using one of my netbooks, so a little less control there. Anyway, I won't be long. I wonder if either you or Iko could comment on your opinion of the best people to listen to after you folks have gone away.
I can answer. I can answer that all. I can answer that already. That would be your choice. Use your discernment.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to mute you out. There's too much feedback there. You're gonna have to use your discernment. For me to come right out and say who I would and wouldn't listen to, just use your discernment. You've listened to us, and so that's the best answer I can give.
All right. Let me do this. Turn down the microphone, number one. We can do that by doing this. Okay. How's that?
You're loud you're way too loud.
All right. I'm all the way down now.
Okay.
How's that?
That's much better.
All right. Apologize for that. Okay. All right. That's sort of the answer I would have expected. Over the last few months, it seems as though Bruce has pretty good information, possibly a little on the optimistic side.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought up Bruce. I put out a shout out to him the other day, and I'm going to do it again, and maybe it will get to them. He's got over 700 bankers, according to him, that comes on his call. Maybe he can get a couple of them to actually come on the call and share with with everybody what they're sharing with Bruce since he's talking about it. I don't see what the issue would be if they're listening.
Right.
I mean, but anyway, maybe somebody will bring that to Bruce's attention.
Okay. All right. Other than that, do you expect people like the goat to eventually disappear and go where they should go?
Not till after this is done.
Okay. So we will be burdened by them until it's over.
Team Yosef, Clark, and Goat will not go away till this is over.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One final thing. Thanks very much for all you've done, and we'll miss you. And I hope ending the calls will give you some peace of
It will allow me to get a little rest. Thank you for everything.
and possibly a little less heat from the
A little less heat from what?
spot.
You're kind of cutting out. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Wingman, we're going to have to go over here to West Point. Oh, goodness gracious.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I wanted to say, a deeply thanks to you, gentlemen. You guys have the utmost respect from myself and hopefully from some of the other listeners on the call. You guys provide the most real answers. And for people that have all this up and down roller coaster effect, you guys always seem to bring the truth to every call that you guys have. So I really deeply appreciate everything that you, Aiko, and also Art has provided. From being a currency holder for 5+ years now, every call that you guys have, you guys stick to your guns. You stay true to every information and bits and pieces. Even from you reaching out to other intel providers, trying to collaborate things to make a common message. So I just want to say from my bottom of the heart to you guys is that I'm going to deeply miss you guys. It's well-deserved and understood. And if anyone, I know the last call is looking for providers of intel, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it now because you guys provide nothing but the real facts and truth and not give out dates and rates and get people on roller coaster ride. So you guys will be missed in my eyes, and I appreciate you taking my call and assisting us overall as currency holders. So thank you guys for everything.
One last question for you.
Yes,
What
sir.
is the date of my last call?
You said the 16th, but I'm thinking that it would be possibly, to me, it seems like this coming week, Friday.
No. I'll go over it again. December 27th is the very last call. The 16th will be the end of the replay links on the web page. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So there will be a call on the 6th, another one here on the 9th, and next week there will be 2 calls, the 13th and the 16th, and then the last 2 weeks of December, there will only be 1 call a week, the 20th and the 27th. And then that's
I'll make sure I'm on them.
It'll be, as they like to say, no mas after the 27th. All righty, sir.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys take care.
All right. Yeah, fell down the list here, right there. Okay. Now, 29 Palms. I know who you are, so no going off on any tangents or any spiels.
Oh, come on now. Give me a break. Iko said something I had to raise my hand on, honey. Those things that showed up on Dinar Chronicles, and I'm going to give a disclaimer. These are my comments only. They have no reflection on Jerry or Iko or anybody else. And I have known those people for 11 years, had to take them off my call 11 years ago, and they've been telling people to sell or burn or whatever their foreign currency. Don't do it. They're scammers. That's my opinion only with what I know about them. And be careful. I was very happy that Dinar Chronicles did put a disclaimer or a watch on the message they posted. I tried to send an email to Dinar Chronicles, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. But I'm sorry you guys are going away. I love you all. And Art knows I love him very much. He's been a warrior, and he's listened to so many calls and brought us everything that he could to help us discern. And so I hope you don't feel I went on a tangent today. I don't mean to do those things.
No.
But I've been around for a hell of a long time, and I know a lot of people. I know the guys that are the crooks in the game, and I try to keep quiet as much as I can.
Speaking of individuals with nefarious ideas, we missed one, and let me get this spit out, and we'll talk about it for a second.
Okay.
Dave Schmidt put out a thing that, I have great intel. Come to me in Phoenix. It was a buy-in to get in the door. A door prize was involved. Come to find out, I had some people sitting in this meeting with Mr. Schmidt. He didn't bring any new intel. Matter of fact, he used, hold on. He didn't bring any new intel. And this is the issue that I have. You're charging $100 or $150 door prize to get in, and about 100 people showed up. That's a damn good payday for giving no intel. He gave intel that was already out there. Literally.
That would pay a lot of cell phone bills for you, wouldn't it, sweetheart?
A little bit. It'd get me out of the poorhouse. It would definitely get me out of the doghouse. That's for sure.
Bless your heart. Well, it's been a long, hard ride for everybody, and there's a lot of crap out there. And I really am happy about you and Iko and Art. And folks, when you get a chance to listen to any of these three, please do, because they don't put out any of the nonsense that's going out and around. And
which three would that be? That
would be Jerry and Iko and Art.
Oh, okay. I thought.
Just
sorry,
to clarify, I'm sorry.
All right.
I
Thank
didn't
you,
mean
ma'am.
to lead you down the path. Yeah, I love you, baby. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wingman, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just was on mute.
Never heard of this city before in New Jersey. They don't even make good pecani sauce up there. Mullock Hill. Does that sound familiar to you?
Mullock Hill?
Mullica. Mullock Hill.
Mullock.
That's probably Texanism there.
Never heard of it. It's probably down in a pine barren somewhere. I don't know.
All right.
They can tell you.
609. Come on down.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I'm in Detroit. I was in Glassboro, New Jersey, which is just about 7 miles from Mullica Hill.
Okay.
Anyway, first-time caller. First, the account that you were alluding to earlier is called a lawyer's trust account. And in some states, the interest goes to the State Bar Association for programs for the poor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and that, again, I'm in Michigan, so I don't know what it's like in a lot of other states. I'm going to answer this as succinctly as I can, and it's a China question. I'm 70 years old. I'm listening to how China, the Chinese elders are behind this wonderful blessing that's coming our way. I don't quite understand the relationship between the elders, the Chinese banks, and the Chinese government. And I raise this because my understanding is that the Chinese banks are controlled by the Chinese government to a large degree, and if that's so, what happened to all of those years when I've been growing up and told that communism is a bad, evil thing? And suddenly, these bad, evil people are going to save our butts. Hey, we need saving. I don't care who saves us, but nobody has ever clearly articulated the relationship between the Chinese elders, the Chinese banks, and the Chinese government. And I'm hoping that you or Aiko can help me out and understand.
That would take more time, literally, than what we have on the call, because that's some pretty in-depth thinking. And just a 2-minute answer, even a 3-minute answer. This is more like a 25 or 30-minute answer of back and forth. And I know what you're looking for, and there's not enough time on the call. I apologize. Unless you can sum it up, Aiko, I've had talks with Aiko about that, and we've had an hour-and-a-half conversation, sir. I'm not trying to push you off to the side and not give you an answer. I'm trying to give you an honest answer.
I understand.
Well, I can take a stab at a summary real quick. What people are calling the elders, etc. There are royal families in China. Okay, the royal families direct Chinese historical decisions. Okay, communism was simply a way to control 3 billion people who suddenly had no food, had no resources, had Japan trying to come in and raid the country. It's like that. That's a real complex incident. But the Chinese aren't communists. The Chinese are long-term thinkers who put in place policies they think will keep everybody cool or keep a lid on an explosion while they figure out what to do. That's about as simple an explanation as I can give. They are by no means. Nobody's under any illusion that what they're doing here is coming from the goodness of their souls. It's a practical solution to a world problem. The world can no longer be at war. Conventional warfare simply does not work. Everybody gets that now. So what's next? How do we all live on this planet and not destroy it and have a decent life? That's what they're trying to do. And that does come from the royal families. It doesn't come from the Chinese government. Yeah, the government controls the banks, but that's like saying, it's the same thing here. It's like, who controls our government?
The power. Hope that helps out, sir. That's the best we can do for right now.
Yeah, for a real quick answer.
That's as good of an explanation as I've ever heard, and I thank you guys.
Thank you. Denver, Mile High, 303.
Hi there, Jerry. A bus is going by just as I started talking. I, too, wanted to say how much I appreciate y'all. This call has been so important. And I haven't been a worshiper of gurus. I really just have appreciated your call. And the first time I read the Griffith Report, I knew I wanted to follow Iko. And when I found him on, well, back at Adam Bill's call, it's like, yes! It just felt like, okay, now I can keep track of things and without being so distrustful of what some of the people were saying. So anyway, I'm going to miss you terribly. And I wanted to also say I hate that the last call is on the 27th because a lot of people will be traveling that day, me especially. But so I wish it could be on Friday of that week. Of course I'll listen to it on the recording, but I just would like to be there for that last one. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. I really appreciate everything.
Well, and let me say this. All replay links on the WINGIT web page will cease to exist December 28th. Period. Okay?
Okay.
So you if you're going to download some stuff, you need to do it now, because on December 28th, it is gone. The replay links, not the web page. Please don't get confused. The web page is going to stay up. The replay links are out of here. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And round two. Dave, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Jerry.
Okay. When you call on the web and you've that type of microphone, I don't know if it's the data connection or what, but when you're speaking, it cuts out. It's like it's overmodulated, so you need to back way off.
Okay. Does this work any better?
It seems to be.
All right. This is real quick. Something I forgot before, and I apologize. We know we don't do dates and rates, so I'm not going to ask. What I would appreciate knowing, if you have any way to know or to tell, are we going to see something this year? And if not, could you estimate what quarter of next year we might see it in?
Okay, I'm going to step out on a limb here and say, I don't know. But I'm going to make a statement that I've made before. It's on record, that there was a rumor, and I heard this 2 or 3 years ago, and then I heard it a year ago. I have no proof. It's just a rumor that I've heard, and it could have been started just, by who knows whatever, that as long as Obama was in office, he would never release this to the general public. And then I heard another one that said, Valerie Jarrett said, as long as I'm in the White House, this will never be released to the American public. And we all thought a couple of years ago that when I first heard that, I said, oh, everybody's full of crap. That's BS. Well, look where we're at now. And so what I'm trying to say in short is it could possibly go to when the inauguration is for the next president. Don't know. I don't know.
Thanks for taking a stab at it. Have a good life.
Thank you. Well, Wingman?
Yo.
I think, and when this is over, would you give me a call, please?
Yes.
I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. There's plenty of information here. And again, I'll say at the end of the call here, there will be another call this week. And then the next week, on the 13th and the 16th, will be, that week we'll have 2 calls. And then the last 2 weeks of December, there will only be 1 call. First call for that week only will be December 20th. Only call that week. And the very last call for the WINGIT call will be December 27th. So one more week of 2 calls a week, and then the last 2 weeks, 1 call a week. I can't be any plainer than that, and I'll probably tweet out this schedule so that it's out there also. Wingman, take it away.
Well, guys, something a wise use of our time that's left. Start trying to think of questions that will clarify the situation, not the rate and date, because we just have to accept that it's going to come when it comes, and nobody knows when it's coming. They think they know, but they really don't. But think of questions that can be plugged into this forum here, this call, that will clarify or expose or simplify our understanding of things, so that the absence of this call doesn't create stress in your life. If anything, it gives you the power to discern and decide for yourself without having to rely on somebody else for an answer. I guess that's about as clear as I can say it.
There you go. And again, it's been my pleasure that you have followed me this long. Thank you for the compliment. Iko and I both we're like yin and yang. We work well together. He makes this call that much more entertaining. Sometimes I get too far out there and he reels me back in, and I appreciate that. And thank you for your support. Whether you donated whether you donated to the website or just your comments, thank you. And it's been an open forum. People can say their piece that was like that on the last call, and same on this call. So I guess the most famous last words of the day, Wingman, would be what?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. See you Friday.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye.